Okay, so I'm going to get started here. So my name is Sierra Love. I'm the Calgary Dollars program manager, and I've worked at Arusha since 2017. Today, I'm going to share a little about Calgary Dollars. So I'm just going to share my screen here in a second. I'm doing it a slightly cheating low-tech way because I couldn't find a slideshow program that let me do what I wanted to do. So there you go. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my screen there?
Yes, I can see it on my end.
Okay. So Calgary Dollars is both a program and a complementary currency. Calgary Dollars is a project of the Arusha Centre, a nonprofit organization which has been in operation since 1972. We have two other programs, an environmentally focused program, which is specifically focusing on climate change right now. And so we've got some really cool climate projects going on, and our Take Action Grants program, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. I will do my best to try and pay attention to chat if you have questions along the way, but I'll also be sending a little bit of time, save a little bit of time for the end in case there's more questions or if I miss something. Okay. So let's start with what are complementary currencies. As I'm sure not everyone is familiar with complementary currency. It's any currency that's not a national or federal currency, has acceptance for use in specific conditions. So a complementary currency is not intended for use as the primary means of exchange in an economy. So other examples of this might be alternative currencies you might have heard of, like Canadian Tire dollars or air miles, but those aren't really considered complementary currencies because complementary currencies usually have a social purpose. So they can be set up by private citizens or individuals, advocacy groups, public regulatory bodies, to create parallel markets for specific goods and services or within a specific geographic region. One reason complementary currencies are often used is to help the local economy. So that's gives it a focus there. And so complementary currencies can be used to regulate the economy or achieve a particular social, environmental, or political purpose. Some examples that are out in the world for complementary currencies, there's over 5,000 currencies in the world, complementary currencies. You might have heard of the Bristol pound. There's also a really cool one happening in Europe called Circles. It's a universal basic income project, and they're trying to make that a worldwide project. So that's really cool. And there's a new one that's trying to form in Canmore, the Canmore Together Dollars. So we're working with them to help get that going, which is really exciting to see that happening. So why use complementary currency? So complementary currencies help stop our wealth and energy from being drained out of the local community and into remote banks and head offices, increasing our vitality and well-being. It ensures that money circulates locally, going to local people, businesses, and community regeneration. Complementary currencies build community spirit, support, and trust between people in the local community. They promote resilience, and they protect against the destructive instability of global markets. They reduce our ecological footprint by supporting local supply, production, and accountability. Complementary currencies make us more mindful when we make purchases and enhance our economic knowledge of the goods and services available so we can make more authentic economic choices. They promote creativity, resourcefulness, and abundance in the local community, utilizing and developing our skills, enthusiasm, and potential, even when austerity is called for in the national and global economies. They're also fully inclusive and healing to the local community. They enable people who would otherwise be marginalized or trapped in poverty and unemployment to integrate and contribute to the local community economy. So they're used to address issues and create solutions. So I wanted to talk a little bit where Calgary Dollars came from. It started as a timeshare or an hours exchange. In 1996, it was called Bosch Barter Community Hours. And I believe it started in the Kensington Hillhurst area. Sunnyside's got a lot of good things going on there. They're very community focused, and it was meant as a community development tool. And it was rooted in a social philosophy about globalized communities and as a response to economic inequity. In 2000, it was redesigned to the Calgary dollar, as people are have a little more, they're more accustomed to assigning things a dollar value rather than giving them an hour value. So they were a little easier for people to understand and exchange. And then in 2018, Calgary dollars became digital. And I just wanted to pop over for 1 second before I talk more about the digital Calgary dollar. I wanted to throw up our little explainer video, which I thought is quite cute.
Imagine you were able to easily support your Calgary community while you make money. Calgary Dollars allows you to show your loyalty to local businesses and exchange goods and services with other Calgarians. Plus, you earn rewards when you use it. You can feel good knowing that it's easy to buy and sell in full or partial Calgary Dollars. You'll be helping the economy, the environment, and the community.
I've lost my, there it is. Okay. All right, so I just really like our explainer video because it gives like a really quick overview of Calgary dollars, and I really hope that it kind of piques people's interest and they want to know more. So I'm just going to dive back into the digital side of Calgary dollars. And the reason we went digital is it allows our small team and limited funding to have a greater reach. It also gives a greater ability for us to track our impact and the circulation of Calgary dollars. When Calgary dollars was paper, we didn't know who was spending it or where it was being spent, or if people just kind of stuck it in a drawer and it got lost. And we would survey people then, and people would tell us, but then they'd have to try and remember over the past year, well, how much did I spend and where did I spend it? So it also makes it a more dynamic and flexible tool for us, and it's more convenient for a mobile focused society. So we actually have an app, and we have the citywide, which is the Calgary Dollars app, and then we have some sub networks for some of our affordable housing partners. And this is what the citywide app looks like. And I also wanted to note that we're very aware that there are disadvantages and barriers for the use of technology, which is one reason why paper Calgary dollars are still in circulation. We also frequently review our program and try to use the both and principle whenever possible. So Calgary Dollars is funded in part by the City of Calgary, and that's through the FCSS, the Family and Community Support Services, and Calgary Dollars is part of the City of Calgary's resilience strategy, focusing on local economic resilience, community cohesion, and community economic development. It's especially impactful for people relying on secured income payments, because when you earn Calgary Dollars, you don't get your support payments clawed back, which is a really important for many of our participants who are experiencing vulnerability. Okay, so how does Calgary Dollars work? Calgary Dollars is a multifaceted tool. It works as a super local trading platform. So that we have a classified system similar to Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, where individuals and businesses can post their ads. We host events and in-person markets, and we have collaborations with community associations and other organizations. It also works as a business rewards and support program, and we have our affordable housing collaborations. All right. So the online marketplace can be used by anyone. Individuals, micro vendors, and small businesses. The platform exists online and as an app. Individuals can post goods and services ads for free, so long as they are accepting a minimum of 10% Calgary dollars. You can also post things for free as well. In-person markets provide more opportunities for community connection. Our upcoming markets will take place downtown in Memorial Park from 12 to 4 p.m. July 3rd, July 31st, and August 21st. We'll be animating the park and reclaiming this space for community. And so we'll be having both Calgary Dollars vendors as well as community outreach and hopefully some music and fun animation. Our vendor tables are very affordable and we accept 100% Calgary Dollars. The markets blend micro community vendors and small businesses and are often combined with other community building activities and events. Supporting local businesses is essential for local resilience. On average, local businesses pay higher wages, they employ more people compared to revenue earned, they circulate more money locally to other businesses, communities, and charities, and they pollute 15 times less than non-local businesses. And here's a little sample of businesses with an active ad on the marketplace at the moment. Some of my favorite local businesses include YWC Growers, Cafe Clutch, Sunny Cider, Co-Rise Superfoods, the Calgary Repair Exchange by the Circular Calgary, and so many more small businesses and micro vendors that come out to our in-person markets. So here are two of our participants that have been participating for a long time. Abir, she moved to Calgary 6 years ago, and Calgary Dollars has helped her to branch out and meet like-minded people interested in sustainable communities, relationship building, and entrepreneurship. She regularly attends Calgary Dollars events, both as a vendor and as a customer. She's establishing her sense of trust with the community. She spends Calgary Dollars on handmade and household items, as well as accessories and items for her business. She's found Calgary Dollars useful to grow her social network and her jewelry and accessory business. Bob, also known as Barter Bob, got involved with Calgary Dollars as a keen volunteer over 10 years ago as a way to give back to the community. He believes that Calgary Dollars builds strong communities by making it easier to touch base and connect with people. Bob says it's made him more confident. It was the push he needed to feel he was capable of making a difference in Calgary. He uses that as a way to give back. Bob's antique trading for Calgary Dollars sales has become his hobby, learning the history behind collectibles and making more toys available to kids. Bob also uses Calgary Dollars to purchase meals, hire home repair work, and meet new people. Okay. And in 2018, when we went digital, it also allowed us to start partnerships with affordable housing. We have connections with CUPS, Calgary Housing Corporation, and the Norfolk Housing Association. We are also starting some talks with the Homeless Foundation and a few other organizations as well. So it's really exciting seeing this happen. And so how it usually works is the Affordable Housing Agency agreed to accept a certain amount of Calgary Dollars for rent or goods, and then we give them a credit to their account. The agency then pays Calgary Dollars honorariums for engagement for the residents to participate in various building work or community development and pride of place tasks. And this includes things like shoveling or sweeping, cleaning, gardening, community safety walks. They maintain the waste and recycling and compost areas, creating events or holiday special activities, clubs, language classes, just encouraging people to connect and meet their neighbors. Food pantries, mass distribution for COVID, skill sessions, and workshops. In turn, the residents can then use their Calgary Dollars to pay a portion of their rent or access goods. They trade with each other by putting goods and services on the marketplace, and then they connect. They can purchase transit tickets from our organization. They can also use 100% Calgary Dollars at Fresh Roots, and some of the vendors at the HSCA Farmers Market also accept a percentage of Calgary Dollars, and they can trade with a citywide network of over 2,500 users and 200 local businesses. And again, no secured income reductions for earnings in Calgary Dollars. Rebecca is one of the people who's been with Calgary Dollars for a little while now, and she's a low income user and she has a physical disability and has some health issues, and Rebecca looks for other options to support herself. Rebecca regularly earns Calgary Dollars by helping out with activities, opening the community room, and helping other tenants. She's a vendor at the Calgary Dollars market selling her handmade goods, and she's grateful to be able to pay her rent and shop at Fresh Roots using her Calgary Dollars. Our collaboration provides opportunities for residents to save or earn extra income to spend on goods and services that they wouldn't be able to afford otherwise. So this includes eating out at restaurants, purchasing Christmas gifts, saving to travel or visit a loved one, purchasing or repairing equipment, electronics, or appliances. And these are just some examples participants have shared with us. Programs with affordable housing include digital skill sessions and virtual socials, which we've developed during COVID to address isolation. We also have ambassador programs that empower participants, providing leadership opportunities and a way for participants to develop and steer how Calgary Dollars are used in their community. And one of my favorite projects, the Household Lending Library. So participants can host an item, and this is really flexible and is something that can be done. It doesn't have to be in an affordable housing community. It could be done in any community. So participants, especially when you don't have a communal space, so individuals can host items, and that could be vacuums, tools, wagons, carpet cleaners, and in a community you might have ladders, lawnmowers, anything like that others can rent for Calgary Dollars. I'm a really big fan of tool and resource sharing projects. So it's really great. I find that Calgary Dollars can be a tool to facilitate resource sharing projects. So does it work? So our organization, both part as a requirement for FCSS, and we do our own surveys questions as well. We do pre and post test surveys annually. And here are some of the statistics we found from our surveys. So after using Calgary Dollars, 88% have been encouraged to buy more locally. 60% agree they're better able to live within their means. 74% agree that they had built relationships of trust. And 80% said they're more involved in their community. So unlike federal currency, Calgary Dollars can't leave the community. And so they circulate multiple times, creating a robust localized economy. It provides affordable, integrated, and supportive housing to vulnerable Calgarians. And Calgary Dollars is a hand-up rather than a handout program. It works to identify and develop the unique skills and capacities of participants, provide necessary connections, and empowering self-directed access to additional income and resources. In our affordable housing partnerships, it facilitates timely payments of rent and the ability to pay rent while creating clear social and economic benefits and enhanced community connections. There's in any of the communities it's used in increased security and safety when you get to know your neighbors. In our housing partnerships, there's increased tenant satisfaction, and in communities in general, there's a higher pride in home and in community. And Calgary Dollars also has the benefit of aiding with technological and financial literacy. Okay. So this is a sociograph and a snapshot of the connection made between participants in citywide and subnetworks. You can see the larger nodes. Some of those that are off on their own a bit are agency partners. And so most of their transactions are happening between the agency when they are engaging with their community, and then going back to their agency to pay for basic needs or for either for rent or goods that they'd like to purchase. And something that is really awesome to see is we're seeing more and more connections between residents and also between the citywide network. Some of the other nodes you can see that are larger are individuals or businesses that are really active participants. There's probably one of these might be Fresh Roots. I know Sunnyside is out there, and we've got a few other active businesses and organizations that are connected through Calgary Dollars. I love this visualization because you kind of see the connections that are happening. And with time, we hope to see that grow more and more. So how do you earn Calgary Dollars? So you start by registering, and it's free to make an account, and we have several rewards to help you get started earning. You can take our intake, and that helps us have outcomes to show that we have an impact or that we need to alter our programming in some way. And when you take the intake, you earn 15 Calgary Dollars. When you post the first 5 ads, you can earn 5 Calgary Dollars each, because we want to encourage people to participate in creating the economy. And you can earn Calgary Dollars with our business rewards program. So when you spend federal dollars or Canadian dollars at participating businesses, you can earn 10% Calgary Dollars back. That includes at the Be Local YC website. And if you refer someone and they fill out a survey and post their first ad, you receive 40 Calgary Dollars. Okay. So where can you spend your Calgary Dollars? You can exchange goods and services with anyone in the citywide network. Individuals and businesses accept them between 10 and 100% Calgary Dollars, and you can find them on the online marketplace and our in-person marketplaces. And to spend your Calgary Dollars, you can either use the paper Calgary Dollars, or you can download the app or use the online platform. Most of the participants prefer digital. You can still use the paper Calgary Dollars, and we can convert paper to digital and vice versa at our office or at our markets. Our team is always happy to help you get started. So Calgary Dollars is an integral part of our Take Action Grants program. If you or your group have an environmental, social justice, or community building project, Take Action Grants may be a good fit for you. So for any of the grants, it's matched 50-50 Calgary Dollars and Canadian dollar, up to $2,000. So if you get 1,000 Calgary Dollars, 1,000 Canadian dollars. And we also will do collaborations with community associations, so that a community association, if they're accepting Calgary Dollars for memberships or for rentals, for their programming, they put that towards a Take Action grant that will be, or mini Take Action grants focused within their community, and then we'll match that with the Canadian funds, as long as the project that they want to fund meets our criteria. And you can see some of the projects that we have funded on the calgarydollars.ca. We've funded a lot of really awesome grassroots projects. Okay. So I hope I've piqued your interest in the tool that is Calgary Dollars. You can download the app today to get started. And I'll come back to this screen there in a minute. Calgary Dollars is such a flexible tool, and it can be used by individuals and groups and organizations, and we can help you adapt it to the needs of your community. And I'd love to help you do that. So please reach out to me at manager@calgarydollars.ca. One thing that's been really cool, even though we're working with affordable housing, each of our agency partners, and same with our community associations, they all use Calgary Dollars differently, because it's a very flexible tool. In some of them, they mostly they can have different goals. Like in Norfolk, they have some goals around community care and environmental impact, and so that's some of the programming that they work on, and they incentivize it by using Calgary Dollars. In a community, it's encouraging people to get to know your neighbors by learning what goods and services you have within your community. So there's lots of different ways that Calgary Dollars can be used, and it's really exciting. and as I mentioned before, there are like so many complementary currency projects happening around the world. These are just a couple that are in the world. In Japan, these ones are focused on seniors, and it's great they're showing how there's connections made in the community, and they have really great outcomes where people made new friends, they're more active, and they feel more confident learning new skills. So there's all kinds of outcomes that you can get using a complementary currency. So thank you very much. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to shout out or put it in the chat. These are the paper Calgary Dollars, just so people can see what they look like. And I always really like showing off the paper ones. The 25 and the 50 are shiny. So they actually have security things. So each one has their own designation and little security things, so they can't be replicated easily. All right, and I'll go back to the QR codes there in case anyone wants to.
I had a question, and I don't know, I have lots of questions actually. I work at the Alex as part of their Housing First program. So when you said like COPS was partnering with you and the Housing Foundation, that kind of took me a little bit. Like, can I ask like how does it get organized on like an organizational level for them? Like, is that part of, or even just like how it gets funded even? Like, is it that the rent, you know, if tenants are getting sort of reductions on rent because they're paying it as part of Calgary Dollars, how does that kind of get funded in the organization? And maybe you don't know, or that maybe it's too in the weeds, I don't know.
It actually, no, it really is dependent on the organization. Each organization handles that differently. For one of our partners, we wrote a grant in partnership with them in order to make that happen. With some of the other organizations, they found the budget within their own organization. And one of our partner organizations, they pay us to use it as a tool, and they basically use it as their tool. So it's really flexible and adaptable, and there's usually a lot of back and forth conversations to see how it works best with the organization. And part of it is finding that funding, like how it's going to work. It can be really inexpensive depending on what you want to do with it. Because if you can, say one reason it can be really inexpensive for community organizations, like a community association, is they can earn Calgary Dollars themselves to give them out. With our larger partner agencies, they're not waiting for their residents to earn Calgary Dollars to pay them and then pay their residents back. They just get a pool of Calgary Dollars that they can start off with, that they can then use to give out as honorariums for engagement in their community. And then they get the Calgary Dollars back as rent for goods and services. So it really depends on the organization, what works best.
Yeah, and I can just see how useful it is. Like, a lot of our clients are on Alberta Works, and just with the, just the clawbacks if they do any kind of part-time work or honorarium work, it's quite significant. So I could see this being so helpful for a lot of our guys. So.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And we have people, as not all of them are in agencies. Some of them are part of the citywide network, and they've gotten part-time work with community associations, where the community association can actually then pay them in Calgary Dollars for their work. And because Calgary Dollars is accepted 100% at Fresh Roots, they can then buy like produce and other grocery things, and they are able to go to events and things that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. There are different organizations, and we're trying to continue building that too, so that they have more citywide connections. Sunnyside, for example, accepts 40% Calgary Dollars. Century Box, which is a game board store, accepts 50% Calgary Dollars. And we want to get more of that kind of connection to the city. At the market, at the in-person markets, there's often a higher percentage accepted, and we have participants who are accepting 100% Calgary dollars on like household goods, even and also like crafts and stuff like that. So it's a really cool project when we make connections between the agencies and the citywide as well.